Alright, so it has been a while. And I haven't been doing any work on this. So this is kind of where I left off, but I don't think I had the final update. So basically the whole intake manifold is complete from the lower to the plenum. I probably showed everything done on this. A lot of it is, epoxy work, cutting back these dog legs and such. I don't know if that's 1 or 5, but like that looks a little rough, but it doesn't need to be polished. Anywhere where I have polished it a bit, like I did that in the plenum, is just for carbon and just to make it look pretty before it goes back together. So I'll start with the plenum, because like I said, most of this was shown. The only things I've really done with this are I had to layer up a bit more epoxy in the holes and stuff, but I'll show this one last time, but I'll get to the plenum first. So basically all the entries were opened up, and it comes out to about like a 15% increase. So basically just all the cross-sectional area is opened up, or also known as kind of like the pinch. The throttle body tunnels were cleaned up a lot, and opened up quite a bit, but still within about that 15%. So that's all based on the size increase of the throttle body, and this is bolted on kind of loosely, just so I could move it. But let me see if I can get the light in there while I do that. But this lines up really nicely now, so it's nice and like port matched. I'm sure you can see the gasket line in there. And then I just kind of brought that together a bit more. So overall this will create more CFM, and then also the lower of the plenum was matched to the factory size of the top of here. So overall entry and exit has been increased, like as far as I could get in there with a long shank too, like it's cleaned up a bit. So hopefully what that'll do is extend the RPM range a little bit more and kind of let the cam do its business. Hopefully, a bit over 5,000 RPM. It's possible it's still going to peak out at like high 4,000s, we'll see. But that should help, and overall just make more CFM and have power through the band anyway. So basically how this works, obviously this doesn't come like this. So this has to be welded back together. So obviously this was a cutting wheel was used, and now it left like a decent sized gap because I had to use like a thicker one, but it's not a big deal as long as I can tack it in a couple of places and then like create some fill, and everywhere else honestly like you can just use epoxy and it'll be fine. So that's the plenum. I wasn't originally going to do that, but now it was a pretty straightforward job. A little tricky in some of the spots to open those up equally, but like I said, it opens up the cross-section about 15%, or basically what the jump in the throttle body is. So from your throttle body to, the cylinder heads, everything is nice and equalized, and then the increase in the valve curtain area of having a bigger cam, like everything is nice, like everything, there's no bottlenecks and nothing's really overkill. I mean, if anything, what this plenum will flow and what this intake will flow, if we cracked over 200 CFM, which it probably did on the 1 and 5 hopefully, then yeah, it's supporting more CFM than what we're going to have for horsepower, and that's perfect. That's exactly what you want. So you can see how that dog leg was taken care of. I only have 1 minute of tape here, or card, so just running through it. That epoxy still has to be knocked down. That was a mistake actually, but this opens up significantly. Could it possibly get like well over 200 CFM? Who knows, but I really only need 200 plus to support what the heads are going to do, and that'll support the power levels that the cam wants to make. So anyway, that's it for right now, and maybe I'll post another update when things are going back together, or I get back to the cylinder heads.